time, and we cannot wait. Rick Karle along with Kevin Skarbinski live above the Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Inspiration Point. We're here because he's going to give us some inspiration. How you doing? Should we utter the D word, dynasty? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. I mean, Rick, when you consider about in the era we're in, 3 national championships in 4 years.
And you said earlier this season that you thought that this team may not have been as talented as some of your others. Did they overachieve, or did they just?
Well, I think I would say they exceeded my expectations. If his hips turn that way, you want to do what we call offhand jam him. So if his hips go that way, you'll hit him with this.
What's wrong?
Balance and body control.
A juggernaut, 335 rushing yards a game, #1 in the nation. Nick Marshall, Trey Mason, the keys. Tell me about the M&M boys. They are sensational.
They have a special chemistry, and they have that off the field and on the field.
What impresses you about the big guy from Huntsville?
You know, I love Reggie. I love the way he plays the game. He's a downhill linebacker, drops a lot of big hits on the opposing offense.
Alabama, Notre Dame, a lot of people nationally don't like these teams.
That's right.
I mean, the New York Yankees, the LA Lakers, the Boston Red Sox of college football. And you know, sometimes if you're wherever, you might not like Alabama. You might not like Notre Dame because they're Notre Dame. So many different subplots, so many different angles to this game. Let's talk about the onside kick a little bit. First, starting with highlights between Alabama and Clemson early on. We mentioned Deshaun Watson being terrific, 473 offensive yards, but so too was the Heisman winner. What were you thinking when you got the onside kick?
I saw about 3 guys trying to take my head off, it looked like, so I just caught it and ran out of bounds. So unbelievable. I'm so proud of this team, you know. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Those are nice tears, though, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
You take those tears anytime, wouldn't you?
No doubt.
And now the big question, Mr. Griffin, can Alabama win it all? Why not, right?
Certainly, they should be able to. And last year, that'll be the motivation, how they played against Ohio State.
Just past 6 o'clock already, I'm telling you, hide the women and kids. You got to be careful what you see here. But we saw Alabama working inside the Superdome earlier this afternoon. Let's take a look at some of those pictures. Oh, it's Feinbaum, for crying out loud. How you doing, buddy?
I was just thinking, 3 years ago, we sat together in Miami doing the national champ. Well, you guys abandoned me.
Now you're big guy. 25 years at WBRC, and then he big times us. Paul Feinbaum, just off his Sirius XM Jocks radio show. How are you, Paul?
Doing great, and the buzz is where?
Well, keep in mind now, we're about 20 minutes from the stadium, about an hour from South Beach. I think this weekend is going to really heat up there. Let's take you back to when Bama arrived. Usually, and I say usually, it's become a tradition for Nick Saban that every time he does one of these national championship games, he goes right to the field. The Tigers huge favorites over the Aggies. The Tide and the Tigers want Final Four spots, and they are well on their way. Welcome into Tide and Tigers today. Rick Karle here, along with Roger Schultz and Tommy Jackson. We appreciate you watching for the Raycom station in your hometown. And Roger, John Daly called. He wants his sport coat back.
Well,
how you doing?
If you give me a lesson, he'll get it back. What are you talking? Hey, it's No Shave November. I got this jacket on.
You love the defensive linemen on this Alabama team, and
Absolutely.
when we talk about the Jackson 5 today, I know, but you know, from an Auburn perspective, we know what your answer is.
Kiss the hog! Kiss the hog! Come on, kiss it! You've kissed worse. Yay!
It got you in the left cheek, right? The left side of your face, actually?
Yeah, left cheek. So I think at the last minute I turned my head, but 2 inches to the right I probably would have broken my nose.
Oh, well, that would have been.
You would have done the Marsha Brady then.
Yeah.
You've been playing piano for years. We heard you last year. Tips for this guy who seemingly has very little rhythm. What do you think?
Well, this is the first time Paul has ever sat down at a piano. So the first challenge is to find the note C.
This with recruiting, because you seem to be bringing in a lot of big hauls lately.
Well, but you know what? A lot of those guys like to fish, so that's a good thing.
Well, golfing legends here, Tom Watson, 8-time major winner, and Nick Saban. You're grinning, but I mean, your golf game looks superb. What do you think?
Well, Tom's given me some good pointers, especially on the putt, and I can't execute very well, but I'm happy to be out here. It's a beautiful day, and it's great to play with someone, you know, that's like Tom, who's a great professional.
So could you get under the hood and, like, I don't know, if I had a problem with my, I don't know, alternator or something?
Well, I could back in the day, you know, when it was 1960 cars.
Here we are with a pretty good golfer and a really good golfer. Hey, congrats on that win, man. That's nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it shocked me too, but it was.
Karle along with Bo Jackson. How you doing, Mr. Jackson? You all right?
I'm doing great. I'm running like a greyhound, though.
You know, sometimes you got ADD too. You take a Ritalin today? You know,
pretty much.
Sometimes you engage your mouth before you think.
And how'd you know, Coach? It's just amazing how these. From what you have seen of Coach Saban, how does he relate and or differ from Coach Bryant?
He's shorter. No offense, Nick. I mean, you know, no, Napoleon wasn't a real tall guy either, you know.
What does Dabo think? He's looking for his first national championship. I ran him down. What do you tell your guys going into the game?
Oh, still working on that, but really just, you know, have fun, be who you are.
Barkley has made his official stand on Bama football coach Nick Saban.
Would love to invite him to Cuba with me. You know.
Good golf courses down there, I bet.
We're not playing golf. I'm going to try to get him to Guantanamo Bay and get him stuck there.
So a lot of times kids shoot the ball flat. And the reason why they shoot the ball flat is their elbow is too flat, okay? So Rick, if you're standing there underneath that basket and I shoot the ball like this, okay, that ball's gonna come out too flat. Hey, that looks good, Bernard. That looks good, man.
So Auburn fans hungry for a winning season. Tamburello finally delivers. You come to our state, you know, you got to be Alabama or Auburn. Do you choose to take sides here? Or you
No, I don't choose to take sides at all, especially when you're married to a Georgia Bulldog. You do not say anything about the SEC.
Thanks, Mr. Governor. All right, have a great trip home tonight. If there's room on the private jet, we'll tag along. I'm just kidding. All right.
What is your favorite cereal?
Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch? The old kind or the new kind?
Crunch Berries.
I got to get it, man, before, you know, that yellow alien over there get it.
Hey, that's it for now from Hollywood, California. Rick Karle, back to Birmingham. To understand one of the most improbable, unlikely, and incredible wins in Auburn football history, you have to start at the end. 25 seconds left, 4th and 18th, Marshall to Ricardo Lewis. Ball game. And unbelievable.
Oh, man, yeah, you're right. Unbelievable. We trusted each other. I trusted Nick. Before the play, I told Nick, if you trust me, you're going to throw me the ball.
These folks saw it. It sets up what could be an Iron Bowl for the ages.
There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back.
You know, it seemed like we set up a wall, and they had all the blocks set up.
Auburn's going to win the football game.
And come 2014, new trees will be planted there and the rolling will continue. Let me step out of the way for just a minute, tell you what's happening here. You're looking at the smaller of the two oak trees. This borders Magnolia. It was really hectic on Saturday for the Crimson Tide. In the afternoon, a practice session for 2 hours indoors at a facility owned by Arizona State University. On Saturday morning, media day, and oh, what a wild ride. Let's see it in person. Ron Sanford bringing the dog. Here he is in the studio. We're surprising the anchors tonight with, yes, Tiger Jake. Oh, by the way, there were some snow flurries in Foxborough. Beth, come on over here. Give us a little snow here. Obviously, this was in a situation. Oh. Okay, there's JP with a Crocker on the studio floor. JP Dice took 30 seconds of my sports time.
How dare he?
It was ugly. Take a look.
How dare he?
Oh, see, good. Okay. It was not just. So.
The winning $1 billion Mega Millions jackpot numbers, they are 15, 23, 53, 65, 70, and the Mega Ball is 7. Again,
Texas coach Mack Brown, I haven't resigned, said Nick Saban numerous times this season. I'm too old to start over. So then, why is Twitter about to explode? Well, despite his denials, numerous reports tonight have the Longhorns Brown set to announce his resignation within the next few days. And of course, that leads many, including Texas fans, in the direction of Tuscaloosa. The one report that has Bama fans nervous tonight. For the first time in my life, I'm speechless. Don King, we appreciate it.
I love you, Rick. It is just so great to be in Alabama. My mother was born in Alabama.
Yeah, we're going to go to the break.
You see that?
More Deontay.
Want to see it?
More Larry.
You see it?
We're back.
Did you see it?
Get him, Larry. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
John McEnroe and company having a good time. 7 o'clock tonight. Tickets remain at the arena. Let's toss it back to the studio. And it's been 11 years, man. You were emotional crossing that finish line. How do you feel right now, Dan?
Yeah, I feel good now. I was emotional when it happened, but
I went through some of those things, and I had self-esteem issues where obviously didn't like the color of my skin, didn't like the fact that I wasn't big or fast enough or strong enough.
Wow, I could get some serious threats here.
You love both.
I do love both. They're in the other division. I'm a Gator.
Alabama or Auburn football?
I'm confused because Auburn's a beautiful color.
On sideline 2018, the Hueytown Golden Gophers bumped up. Why? They just smashed their competition. We've got the highlights coming up in just a bit. Speaking of highlights, 2 games of the week on this beautiful Friday night for football, starting with 2 up north, Hamilton and Winfield. Hamilton's James Brown. Ow! Feels good to Alex Reed, but too much Winfield as Logan Pollard and the defense stepped up 38-14. Sheldon with a huge report on Game of the Week number 1. Game of the Week number 2, the aforementioned Hueytown Golden Gophers. Roydell Williams, an absolute beast. Nobody could stop them, including the Bearcats. Up by 65, 5 touchdowns, 42-7, Hueytown. We've got that and a whole lot more over the course of the next 55 minutes. Rick Karle, J.J. Pruitt, how you doing, kids? Welcome into the big show, huh?
What's up, man? The 30th season we're talking.
This is the fastest moving show on turf. The Homewood Patriots, home field advantage tonight against Centerpoint, a team that's won 2 in a row, outscoring their last 2 opponents 54-7. Centerpoint on offense. Look at Homewood senior linebacker Trey Allen. You're going nowhere. And a little shimmy like, okay, go to number 19 in the first half. Centerpoint Eagles say, look, we can play that game too, folks. Kobe Collier sacking Larkin Williams. Stopping a Homewood drive. Good defense of the first half by the Eagles. There's Hardy, Luke, Wes Andrew of Homewood Midland. Luke, I'm making you laugh. Yeah, there you go. You couldn't hold it. Later on, great effort by Wesley Williams of Homewood High School. Looks like Amendola, the Patriots.
And it just makes you closer and more in love than ever.
Tell me about your wife, how special she is.
She's very special. Because she's unbelievable.
We rehearsed that.
Spent 23 years with Mike and Mary Lutzenkirchen. It's been nearly 2 months since he left them.
I've told people, I'm 51 years old and I like to think I'm a grown man, but it's okay to cry.
You have to know you did your best and just know that he made an impact in the world. That's really all you can do.
The only thing, if you want to call it worry about or think about is, the times that I will miss with my kids. And yes, for me, I want to be there. I want to experience it. But for them, I want to be there. When they need someone or need their dad.
Pat Sullivan's best win ever, beating cancer that struck in 2003. And while the fight was on, the people in his life stepped up.
Rick, it was amazing, different, people that, I didn't know, I got, well wishes from that keep you going. I've said it many times, I wouldn't be here today, to this day without Gene.
Instead of asking why, I needed to ask what. Like, what do you want me to learn from this? Like, where are we gonna go from here?
What possibly could a young man learn from such tragedy? April 27th, 2011. An Alabama football star couldn't hang on. His girlfriend, Ashley Harrison, would be swept from his arms. Carson Tinker's life was turned upside down. As his girlfriend was lost, his life spared.
everybody says that they trust in God, but I mean, do you trust that God puts you through the hard times to make you better?
And Coach Saban has given you some advice on what kind of official you are, right?
He's given me advice, but it wasn't funny. I think it involved killing myself or something. No, he gets on me all the time, and he says, you never call a penalty on the offense. You always call a penalty on the defense. Every day just about, he calls me a double agent. He says, you don't ever call a penalty on offense. And I remember one day I told him, I said, yes, I do, Coach. I think it was September the 18th, 1973, I called one. He looked at me like, what kind of fool is this? He says I'm adequate, I think. That I was the second best in the world. Everybody else was tied for first.
Halfway through the fourth quarter, I saw some of his friends on the team coming up to him, and they were jacking him up. And I was like, I told Kathy, I said, something's up.
What was up was the game's final play. A play that would change a life.
It was a surprise to me. And he said I can go in, like in the fourth quarter.
There was about 6 seconds left, and Jake goes running in. The crowd went wild.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking I'm not gonna fumble.
Once he took that ball, he ran fast, straight for that end zone.
The state wrestling 145-pound final. One match, one final chance to prove that his hardships found purpose.
He told me at state right before his final match, they were gonna have to kill me to take this away from me.
Standing in the way of a 37-0 record and a state crown, Landon Thompson and his 53-2 mark. It was a blur to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a blur.
You see, this sweet kid wanted his papa to have that home run ball.
And instantly after that home run, someone got the ball for him, brought it back over to him, and he stopped in the middle of the game and walked over and handed it to my dad. It was awesome.
As emotional then as it is now?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, if you quit baseball today, ask for anything else.
How did your grandfather react?
He was about to cry. He was about to really cry.
He doesn't cry easily, does he?
No.
How does this stack up in great moments of your life?
Ricky, you're going to make me cry. I'll always remember it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I don't have grandkids, but I have kids. But I felt it that day.